Dr. Amos Nzeyi, born in Kabale, Uganda. I was not meant to be a business person. I was forced by circumstances because my father at the time was earning 3 shillings per month working at White Horse in Kabale. And we were 12 of us that he had produced. So you can imagine, when I was in primary 3, I was told that you may not be lucky to start your next term because there is no school fees. So I liked football. I thought I would miss football at school because I wouldn't find anywhere to play the game and to play with. That time, actually, the football I'm talking about, it was made out of papyrus or banana leaves.
Fiber, yeah.
And I was playing with Rugunda, Mbabazi, Mutebire. So I didn't want to leave that company. So I tried to continue, and at the age of 4, I was given a chicken by the name Nyirabujegere. It was producing many eggs. And out of those eggs, I started now selling eggs, business of selling eggs. Selling the eggs to which market? To teachers. That business was the worst in my life. Because the teachers I was selling, I was supplying eggs, were not paying me because they were not being paid. I would wait to be paid for as long as about 6 months. Not intentionally that they were not paid, but they were not being paid. And I hope they are being paid today. So that business did not go very well. I improvised, and with the little money I earned there, I remember buying baking powder and a bottle of edible oil in a Pepsi Cola bottle, by the way. I started baking mwana kava. I don't know whether you know about mwana kava. So that mwana kava became profitable and managed to push me to do more schooling and classes. Of course, I was offered by many relatives who were teachers, and I attended actually in primary school. I must have attended to 8 schools, different schools, because one relative would try 1 term, 2 terms, no payment. He wouldn't pay. Then I would go to another school, still the same story. I remember the last one was when I rebelled and left, because I discovered that the intention actually was not helping me, but me helping them as a houseboy. So my brother, who was in Kampala here, invited me. He was working in UTC as a ticket examiner. These buses, which I enjoyed when I came here, Mengo Murago, whatever money I had in my pocket, I would go to those buses. Very smart. Then look at, do window shopping while I'm in a bus on Kampala Road. Kampala was shining at that time. and very clean. But of course, with a few people, don't say it's not clean now. The population we are talking about maybe 9 million in the whole country. So I now waited to be sent to school. He said, now I want to put you in Kororo High School, but I'm looking for money to buy you clothes. They demanded the school children to have white, everything white, from top to the shoes. And indeed, he did buy them. I went there. How long? I did not even complete a year. Not even, I don't know how many times, whether it was even 2 terms. I was sent home, no school fees. But one thing I will never forget, what I didn't tell you, in lower school, Kabale, headmaster called me because my father kept on saying, bear with me, I'll pay. Bear with me, I'll pay. That headmaster called me to his office. He had a stick. He said, I'm going to give you 6 canes because you have not paid school fees. You have studied for nothing for 3 terms. I will never forget that one. And he was a friend of my brother because they were both UPC, supporting UPC. Even me, I remember they dressed us as schoolboys. In the jacket C, we went to vote when we were about to maybe 14. And we ended up being arrested. It is in Pambara who got us out in a Kabale police station. So here, it could not work. But as luck provides, one morning my brother had been reading Ugandan, and he left it in the sitting room. So I went and, started, grazing in, trying to also look at pictures and what under some articles. So I landed on one article which was taking up school droppers. That was the title. School droppers. An opportunity to be trained by Israeli company which was by the name WRD, Water Resources Development, in Kabale, which we are starting to build the road from Kabale to Tungamu. Now, I said, where do I get transport? I need to leave immediately. Because I qualify, I'm going to drop out. I got a lift from those trucks which carry goods. I think the name of the driver was Francis, may his soul rest in peace. He delivered me to Kabale. I went there. I didn't know even which job I was looking for because I didn't have any qualifications. When I got there, I was, I think, number 6 to be employed. Which job? Boy spanner. I worked as a boy spanner, but on training different sections where I was excelling the best student. Being in which section, of course, after that, mechanic a little bit. Then the chief engineer appointed me under his department to be able to be in the field. They gave me a car Land Rover to collect information about tractors which have broken down, what they could do, what kind of spares that were lacking in those tractors. And the salary was also, I think I remember when we discussed, I was promoted, I reached to earn more than a district high commissioner in Kabale. I was getting more money than him. And eventually, I even bought a car. But before I bought a car, I had an issue with our home, my parents' home. It was grass thatched. And I said, my first Saturday, I must roof this house with iron sheets. Because whenever I would be going home with students, fellow students, from a church school where we went with these former prime ministers and the Bank of Uganda governor, I would tell lies to my fellow students. Whenever they ask me, where's your home, I would appoint Evangelizi home, or which had, my bad roofed. I didn't want to show people that I was living in a grass-thatched house. I don't know whether I bought those iron sheets from Rarani. So, Mr. Rarani, I was a customer in your business at an early age. So I moved on. I managed to also buy myself, first of all, clothes, good ones, Strads, Royal Brook, to be able to, look like some of you I'm seeing here. And then we were transferred to Mbarara. We started working on Mbarara Katunguru. But before we got to the end, I had put in a resignation like 3 times. But they would stop me because they needed me. I was very sharp in creative and managing, situations. I didn't tell you that one day I nearly died by explosives. In those training, they trained me to blast stones. You use hammers to grill, you put in explosives, you connect cables, and this Israeli guy was doing it. For him, he was very careful, usually to use a 20-meter cable. Dig his hole, hide there. After putting the light, after lighting, then he would do. But for me, I said I can do it even at 6 meters. And the stones hit me while I was in that hole. But thank God I survived. Now, when we reached Nkombe, where our former Chief Justice, I remember he was there, Justice Katudel, I said, I'm quitting, I'm not going to work for anybody. That was 3 years that I had been working with Israelis. I resigned because I had been saving. I had an uncle whom I used to give my money in the cabaret by the name of Henry Sassi. And he had even interested me in creating and starting a small shop with the barracks, police barracks. So we started, trading in those, commodities. And I bought, from my savings, I bought a pickup. I remember the pickup was costing 26,000 shillings. But we did not have money to put, with my uncle, a boxy body. We borrowed 4,000 to put on a boxy body. And I started driving to, selling. I ventured into food. Supplying Higeza School, supplying hospital, Utobere. This food, I was buying them from Chihihi. In Chihihi, they used to have a market every Saturday. But through innovation, I started talking to these women who were bringing food in the market. I said, I want now to buy from the source. I started going in the village to buy gardens of sweet potatoes. And that improved my earnings, profitability. So the business grew. But on the way to Kihi, there is a forest called Mafuga. I discovered that there were people cutting trees, but using these manual saws. So I asked myself, if I ventured into this business, and I gave these people automation saws, these ones which cut very quickly. They could cut many timber, and I would venture into that because I had found out in the Kampala they were buying those timber. Indeed, I ventured into that. I bought those automation. I supplied them. They cut timber for me. I had the market with National Housing Corporation. I supplied this one, Minister's Village. Then we did this Extercom. We did all those were my timber. The whole of the Nakasobora barracks is me who supplied all the timber. In fact, I even went beyond to supply some hardware, some rocks from Kenya, and business was growing. I bought trucks, I bought trailers, semi-trailers because of those timber. I was buying from, I stopped now, I was buying from many, not only Mafia. I started buying from Karinzu, Chihara in Fort Potro. A big business in timber. I made good money, which now was disrupted by the war, Tanzania and Uganda. So they confiscated my 3 trucks to take troops. I had to bribe to get them back. When I got them back, I sent them to Nairobi to a friend of mine by the name of Jirigori, and started using those trucks for me on my behalf. But then along the way, I developed a hobby of driving cars. And I started competing in the motor, which motor rally at the time the president of the nation picked interest. And who was the president at the time was Idi Amin. So we started now driving, competing with. So one time he said, now he was appointed the OAU chairman. He said, now you drivers, rider drivers, I'm going to make you drive in the whole of OAU countries. Tell me whatever you want, but you must cover all the OAU countries. I was imagining now OAU countries, how can you drive 1,000 miles and miles? But I said, let's wait and see. I hope I'm not taking longer.
No. Yes, you're taking us
sure?
Process by process.
Thank you. So we demanded to have, by the way, this guy was a rider driver, I think, after me. And he was doing well as he. So we demanded foreign exchange to buy cars, factory prepared cars. I mean, so he gave approval. We went to Bank of Uganda. He said they sent us to Bank of Uganda. There was this Abbas Mawanda. I remember him very well. Whatever you applied for, you would get it. And we identified the factory preparing cars in the UK by the name of John Speed. We got the money, we flew to UK, we bought those cars, we brought them back, we brought them by air here. We drove, we completed 6,000 kilometers, which took us to Kenya, Sudan, Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, a bit of Tanzania, and then back here. And the winner was none other than me. But of course, on announcement, as I was sitting at home on television, there was a man, a newsman, Christopher Damulira. Empaka ezabadde zikubagana ku madena kumeka zimaze ennaku 6. President Idi Amin Field Marshal yasoose amudiridde abadde Kigezi boy Amos Nzeyi amulega basomera Christopher Damulira. I said, now what is this? But what that didn't make points, it was the arrival. That because, we used to find him in 40 kilometers from here, and he would be the one, of course, you wouldn't overtake him. He would be the one to arrive at Upper Hotel, that I called it. So, that activity took me into exile. I went to receive my trophy, which was a car with my escort driver. They gave us cars. Those were the trophy. I think I'm the only one in East Africa to have won a car as a trophy. Brand new car with my navigator, Edward Kayua, the late. May his soul rest his peace in eternal peace. And then that didn't go well with me. In the morning, I was picked for questions at Set Research, Nakasero. I got there. I found some 3 gentlemen in a room discussing in Swahili. One of them came to me, faced me, he started hitting me with his stick. These officers were hitting my head, said, Kauko. I went and sat down there in the corner. Within a short time, they finished the meeting, they went. Then he came back to me, he said, you Nzeyi, you are going to die here. And who was this? This guy had been in school in Bubare, those schools that I was telling you, in primary 4, I was with him, he was my classmate. He was called Captain Smart. He said, I don't know how I'm going to save your life, but I'll do my best. He went out, he said, if I come back, I will tell you what to do. So he went out, came back and said, I'm going to open the door for you, just jump in the back seat, and see where to drop you. He dropped me at Norman Cinema. I found my way now to Kenya. I went to Kenya, but I had a friend in Jinja called Bwire, who was killed also. I didn't say how I was also doing the other businesses along the food stuff. I was the agent of Chillington Tour Company. And Katodung was the managing director, then the sales guy, marketing manager. He was the overall Katodungu. He was also killed because of this Tanzanian radio, which used it to mention. There is somebody who was called, called Babirye, and then another one, Ukato. Because of that, all Ukatos, I think, were murdered. So this guy helped me to cross the border. Now I went to Kenya, I started transport again with my trucks. I built my transport company. I remember a lawyer calling me because I wanted to register a company. He called me and asked me which name to name your company. I said Intercontinental Transport because I was sleeping in Intercontinental Hotel. And I grew the business. I got some other people to join me. I had a friend of mine called Chris Kirubi. He gave me 70 trucks because I had got a contract from Belgium, from ship as a transitor, who gave me a contract to transport a lot of goods in the region. Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, all the breweries. I was the one transporting their goods. To the tune from my 4 trucks, 20, then 100, then 300. It became a good business, and I managed to earn some good money. which helped me to even treat my son in London, where I was paying a lot of money. He had some issues. 2 years in a hospital. Then my family also moved to UK because of that. My son, because of that, brother of theirs. So I managed to educate my family there in UK. I hear you referring to the chairman. He went to very good schools. When you hear him speak a good English better than mine, it's because of my money. I educated him very well. I was paying £7,000 per term for him. Now, I came back, and now when they created this country, one thing I had in mind was start baking, because there was no bread in Uganda. It was imported. Bread was coming from Kenya. And that's why you are referring to hot loaf. Yes, I did that. Now, along the way again, there was shortage of beer, sodas, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Vimito. They didn't have crowns, these closures. Crown Cokes. When you hear Crown beverages, it came from Crown Cokes. So Crown Bottlers, it is a name that I went and bought machines, and I started manufacturing bottle tops, Crown Cokes. Which Crown Cokes were very good. I had bought the machines from Germany, having gone around everywhere. Germany was the most expensive, but that's what I chose to buy. And by doing so, because I'm trying to give a lift to the younger, upcoming business people, entrepreneurs, they asked me to come and address the youth. So whatever I'm saying, have something to pick. Now the German machines managed to get me into Pepsi, because the franchise manager of Pepsi used to come and inspect my crowns that I was manufacturing. And when they tested them, they found that the quality of my crowns were better than those from South Africa and the UK, because that's where they were importing crowns from UK, and that's why they were having shortages, because of airlifting, shipment. And one evening I took him to a Chinese restaurant. I think it was in one of these buildings of insurance. I don't know if it was Chinese, because the Indian was owning that place, but married to a Muzungu. Did you know that? Yeah. No, he was married to a Muzungu woman. Any of you knew that restaurant in one of the insurance near NSSF?
Chairman, these young people are 25 and 26.
But how come this man doesn't know? So that's where my success in business came. Because during the dinner, the man said, "You know, Amos, we are looking for a serious bottler." I said, "What?" "We are looking for a serious bottler to give the franchise of Pepsi Cola." I said, "I'm a very, very serious person. Mr. Ijigo, don't go anywhere to look for a serious business person. I'm very, very serious. I can give you my CV." He says, "Well, I can recommend you." I said, please, before you leave Kampala." He gave me a letter addressed to Boboka in London. I took a plane immediately, went to London. I went to a place called I remember. So I met with Bob Walker. Bob Walker welcomed me very well. We had discussion. We went for lunch. We talked. He said, come back tomorrow morning. I'm still consulting with New York. The following day, he went back. He said, now you need to go and meet our chairman in New York, Mr. Norinko. Had my ticket. In fact, I remember being upgraded. I had a first-class ticket. I remember being upgraded because of my card. I had a gold card in British Airways, because of flying many times. They upgraded me to Concord. 3 hours, 25 minutes to New York. I was there. I met with the chairman. Chairman gave me a letter after a long discussion, but with the condition that I must provide support from a first-class bank. First-class bank. My first-class bank was Barclays, PRC in London. I came back. I went to London. I told my bank manager, I have a number of them. I have a number of them. There were many managers that were my friends. Some of them, I invited them to Kenya. I invited them to national parks, Masai Mara, where. So I had a relationship with my bankers. And it was not difficult to get that letter. So I got the letter and I put it in my pocket. Then in about a year time, they started privatizing these parastatals. And Lake Victoria Bottling Company was advertised. We put in our bids. But now where I want to again give you some light in doing things. Now, in bidding to buy those assets of Pepsi-Cola, Lake Victoria Bottling Company, people thought that you could buy Pepsi-Cola, They didn't know what the government was saying. Even the government didn't know that they had no right to sell actually Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi-Cola, you cannot sell it. If I was now to sell actually the company, Crown Privileges, I would not sell the franchise. I would only sell the assets. Because you cannot own the franchise. No. You cannot. You have a right to produce with that franchise rights, but you cannot sell. So these people who bidded, including Madivan, they were told when we went for the opening of the bid, mine, I had attached that letter of intent and, those approvals I had got. So it was easy for me to win. But also, the bid I put in was higher than all those that put in, because I put in $6.49 million, and that was the highest. The second was 4.9. I want to give you this history because sometimes people talk without knowing what they are talking about. I've heard stories the government gave and say, no. Franchise, you can't get a franchise unless you apply for it. And now that's how I entered into bottling business. And I'm proud to say that in my doing business with PepsiCo International, I've achieved two things. One, the best quality in the Pepsi-Cola family, because 2018 we became #2 in the whole world. We were beaten by Colombia. Uganda came #2. right now, and of course also market share in Sub-Saharan Africa, we are the leader. We are the leaders, the prawn beverages. So when I'm out there, like recently we had a conference in Dubai of 500 bottlers. I'm highly respected. I sit on table 1 with the top guys. But maybe because I'm black also, that gives me also, you know. And we have that good relationship with PepsiCo International. But also, the government appreciates our performance because of taxes that we pay. Taxes that we pay, you know, when we started here, the government, when they came in power, this government, 1986, tax collection for the entire industry and all the whatever, they were only 5 billion. Can you believe it? 5 billion is what they were collecting. But I can tell you that last year we paid 230 billion, okay. My company. And this year you will get announcement that maybe you are paying 300 billion because we are growing. We have been registering growth. So that is my story to the upcoming youth. First of all, I want to appreciate. You know, I was very busy because yesterday I was selling soda near past Mombasa in Kilifi. Thank you for reminding me. I know it well as Malindi. But when Humphrey told me that you must come, these are youth. You know, for me, I really treasure you, and I strive on you, the growth I'm talking about, the billions that we are paying in taxes. You are the people who support our industry because you are the consumers. You are the most consumers, and that's why I had to respect you and come. And even when before I came here, I asked the CEO, Hilda Babazi, I said, but I'm going to represent you, the company. Are these people having refreshments? She said, yes. I said, are you sure enough? She said, yes, we gave, Humphrey told us there are 800, we gave each 6 bottles. 2 bottles of soda and 1 bottle of mineral water. So those of you who have not got it, please, let them give it to you, carry it home. Right? Don't leave here without carrying soda. Because I can see you are very few. They don't leave them with your soda.
Thank
right?
you.
Keep consuming our products. They are very good, very healthy. I beg you, please keep it up. And I wish you luck in you have heard of me. It was not my intention to become a businessman. I wanted to become a professor, a lecturer, but unfortunately, it didn't work. So I thank you, private sector, for inviting me, and keep, motivating these young people so that they can tap on your knowledge and our knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair.